So today I want to talk about groups and roles. Okay, so I've created a couple of groups. I've got admins and users. And if I go into admins by clicking the edit key, you can see there's nothing in here. The only other option would be this tab, team folders, publish to group, which there's nothing here. Okay, so there's nothing going on here yet. I want to go back and look at roles. And here I've got two roles created. One is no sharing and one is assistant. If we look at the no sharing role, none of this has been edited. But under the sharing tab, we have disable external sharing and disable folder sharing. Under policies, I've tweaked a few things here. You can see you can refine this quite a bit. Disable team user share, disable users home, disable offline accessible folder. So, a lot of settings have been adjusted here. Under assigned users and groups, there's nothing assigned, no one. If I go back to roles and I look at the assistant, I have all these settings have been adjusted. And what this is doing is it's giving the assistant role access to these functions. So when they log in as an assistant under that username, they will get access to these functions so they can modify them. I've already demonstrated this in the roles video that I produced recently, but I'll just touch on this briefly here. So if I go under sharing, those are defaults, and there's no one here, but let's go ahead and add a user. And existing user, and I'll add manager 1, and then hit apply. Okay, let me just double check that. So we got manager 1 in there. Let me log out as the tenant admin, and I will log in as manager 1. So as manager 1, if I click this icon here, I get the dashboard controls that allow me to access those functions. And if I disable that, those things will go away. If I remove this manager. Okay. So there's no one in there. All right, so now let's talk about groups. So when I go into groups, I can add multiple users to each of these groups. And that is really just a management feature. It allows you to create roles and then add groups with various sets of users into those particular roles. So what I'm going to do is add my admin to my admins, my manager, and I'm going to add my user to my users. Now before I add these groups, admins and users, to my roles, which I'm going to go ahead and jump over there. Before I add my groups to these roles, I'm going to go and show you what it looks like for a user who is accessing the files through their local client. So here I am as user 1, okay, and user 1 has access to this folder. Let me do a refresh here. And if user 1 wants to share a folder with someone, he can, just by right-clicking and choosing share and saying and it verifies this user has authority to share, and then it allows me to do these settings and then complete the share. And hit cancel. Let's go ahead and minimize that. So So that shows that this user has not been restricted in any way from sharing. Now let me jump back over to my other system, and I'm going to go ahead and add that user to no sharing. And I'm not going to add the user individually, I'm going to add the group. So I don't want any of my users that are in this group to share. There they are. Hit apply. And you can see this gives you a lot of flexibility. Alright, now I'm going to, you've already seen what happens when somebody's been added to assistant, so I won't go into that. But the no sharing is an excellent illustration of how you can use groups and roles to control what your users are capable of. So I'm going to jump back over here. And now you might need to log off and log in for new settings to take effect. So, but I'm going to do a force refresh just to test this. And I'm going to go to my music folder again. I'm going to hit share. And now it tells me, so you didn't have to log out, but now it tells me that it failed to check email, access denied, which is basically letting me know that I no longer have the ability to share. So as you can see, this is a very powerful tool for controlling what your users can and cannot do. And combining roles with groups allows you to do this en masse, where you can move a whole bunch of users into various groups and then assign those groups to various roles, giving you the ability to refine how they access their files and folders. So I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.